Hello, Ira. How are
Hi,
you?
Ryan. Hi, Ryan. I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you?
Great. I'm fantastic. We're here during Berlin Blockchain Week at Funding the Commons. It's the first big event of Berlin Blockchain Week, and you and I are organizing the DWeb pop-up at Funding the Commons. How has it been for you so far?
It was very energizing to talk with people about what they build, and I'm just like super inspired.
Cool. And okay, so I want to talk about your project specifically. Your project is called Embracing Variety, and what is it exactly?
And this is a very challenging question because some people may call it a newsletter, but it's not a newsletter. I would I call it once an open publication for developers turned founders and builders of decentralized and open source tech, and publication about brand design. So there are many versions, I call it, and it all has different flavors. And I think this would be the first, one of the first lessons I will just share with founders. Like the way you call a project brings the flavor, and the question, do you want this flavor? So currently, I'm calling it an autumn publication, which can be delivered to your doors. But if you don't want to sign up for anything, it's advice on branding and communication for those who build decentralized web.
It's very cool. It's very valuable, I think. And this idea of the open publication is also a very valuable thing. So yeah, this is excellent, excellent project that you're working on. And I would like to know how you came up with the idea.
That was actually an interesting and really long story. So I joined Web3 unplanned. It just happened, like life happened. And I always was saying that I joined Web3 from the very right perspective, from the perspective of privacy and self-sovereign identity. And when I joined the decentralized web, my first task was to rebrand the company. And that's where the first time I started researching how the blockchain in 2018 looked that way. And what is the history behind the symbols of what everyone was displaying, like a blockchain, like this connected dots and network and mesh. And that time I noticed that time all the companies in decentralized web were so look similar to each other, very very startup-ish, how you call it, but also it was all purple and blue and the same graphics everywhere. And me coming from advertising area where people know like that how to differentiate visually and how to struck with visuals and with storytelling, I was shocked that this is such a great technology, but the way it looks, it all the same. So we started doing DWeb Berlin meetups, my company, like Yolacom, in which I worked. And I decided to start DWeb design meetups. And the first design meetup was something that was like boiling in me. And I'm an opponent of all the trends and visual cliches that can live in industries. So that first meetup was called DWeb Design 1, and I gave it a name, Embrace Variety. That was standing that it was a meetup against the design trends and marketing trends that make everyone look similar, and they fire and they fade in a second. So I invited those startups in Berlin that I thought, in my opinion, they were just so standing out among anybody else, and they were telling how they come up with this idea of identity. And then I also invited people in startup space who are hiring and who are creating marketing campaigns to actually to stand out in their industry. And after this, I did a couple of other events about design, about open source in design and design for open source, um, about typography. But that first one, it's exactly like what I'm aligned, how to actually, like just like an ecosystem, to embrace variety of the images of our companies. So the rich ecosystem is also from the visual perspective.
Right. I love this. The embrace variety to not only stand out but also to survive, and so that
Yes.
the ecosystem thrives as well.
Yes, yes.
Very cool. Very, very cool. And so what you're doing then is working with the builders, the developers, the founders to help them to represent themselves.
Yes. So since I joined decentralized web, people who I have been working with, they are either developers turned founders or researchers turned founders, and they are excellent coders. And they know a lot in their domain, so they're just like masterminds. But they don't know how to communicate, and when it comes to either verbal or visual communication, and also everyone is they don't like marketing, they don't like branding, and they prefer not to do this. But this is what makes you visible on the space. And if you want to attract attention of your future adopters, you need to act on it. And people start understanding, and now you see many companies who just get so popular because what they did, they got marketing departments, and those marketing departments brought them to surface to see. But there's like, you don't need to be loud and aggressive on social media. You just need to know how to make people not pass. Just like make them stop, make them hear you, and also just how to tell a story.
Cool. Yeah, get noticed, tell the story, and it's not all about like the ICO boom that we saw, where, like you said, all you needed was a marketing department. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, of everything that you've done that you've now been telling me about, what's the most valuable for you? What has been the most valuable personally? Like, what are you getting out of this on a personal level?
You know, I would really want to have the world to be a better place. And at the end of the day and at the end of the life, I'm just like, I want to contribute to the better world and not to someone's pocket. And I have been contributing to someone's pocket for the first part of my career. And I have been, I was fortunate to not brand alcohol or cigarette brands when I was working in more like advertising media area. I was almost fired once when I rejected to work on branding for the one of the biggest pesticides producers for agriculture, like chemicals, like really harmful chemicals. And that marked my time when I was like, okay, I really don't want to work for someone's big pocket to make it even bigger. Uh, and then I joined DWeb, and they opened me eyes for so many things to actually to take care of my data, take care of my soul, you can say also. So yeah, I really want to give back.
Very cool. That's awesome, man. It's so great because like your journey, it sounds like it really brought you to like you were listening to yourself and your own needs, and it brought you to a really nice place. It sounds like.
And I would say like these are developers who changed my life. When I moved from my hometown and home country, and I'm Ukrainian, so I moved from Ukraine to Poland. I moved and I knew no one. I met my boss first time in my life there at work. It was like before like all the Zoom areas, like all the Zoom times, and I didn't have friends, so I decided to make friends. And how do you make friends? So I decided to go to my first hackathon ever, and that was Open Data Hackathon. And I joined a team of developers, and they were coding dashboard uh, for Polish government to track the mentions of Sejm. There is like a Polish Sejm. It's like a Polish Senate. Um, and those developers became my first friends abroad. And they introduced me to their friends who also were developers. And at the time when this like the my crisis, so I don't want to work for big brands anymore, happened, I decided like, well, I want to work with developers. So then I joined software development agencies, and it was amazing time. So that was like I was working with developers, but then we were working for again like other big brands. So it's like Deutsche Bank, Wirecard, all these like bigger companies who were outsourcing to developers. Um, and I think like when I joined Web3, that time developers changed my life for the second time because exactly that year I was introduced to DWeb, and um, yeah, it's completely changed how I see myself in digital, but also like where I want to contribute. It was exactly the month where I closed, like I took off Facebook forever ever. I killed my Instagram account. For a designer, it's just like, are you going to kill yourself? But I'm just like so happy that I joined DWeb, and yeah, again, going back to what I said, it's just like I want to give back, and I have a lot of to give back.
Yeah, yeah, it really sounds like it. And I'm really glad you joined DWeb because this is how we met. So it's really, really a good
Yeah.
thing, in my opinion. All of these experiences that you've had, and you're talking about going to hackathons and hanging out with developers, coming from your history of working in advertising, you have a ton of experience, a ton of knowledge from all of that. So, what are 3 tips that you would be able to give, like based on embracing variety, something that comes from there that might get people excited to learn more?
Well, first tip is the world needs what you build, even if you think that you are not ready. So many projects that I see, they are staying too long in the laboratory experimentation mode because people think it's a cool tech, but maybe it's too early to show. It's never early to show. You just need to show it in the right way, and you can start conversation as early as possible. That will be one tip. The second tip is people really want to hear you. You just need to know how to start talking to them and how to spark the curiosity. Um, that would be this, like, just like, don't be shy. Just go there and talk to people, and they will listen to you. And the third tip is no, it's very interesting. Once I heard, and I heard it on my brand workshops. The founder of a very big company approached me after the workshop, and he said, "You know, I'm so allergic to everything. I was so allergic to everything brand related, but you opened me eyes on absolutely different side." And that's what I'm experiencing myself. Whenever in development conferences I submit something about branding, it's getting rejected because branding got so bad reputation. It solved so much of harm to the human world. It took so aggressive roads that people now think that branding is aggressive advertising, branding is brainwashing, branding is promising something that you don't deliver, and it's not. Branding is building what people think about you, and you can do it in a very mild, feeling good for yourself way. And that's what I'm trying to teach founders through my workshops and also through Embrace Variety, where I'm literally just like breaking down my workshops, and I'm just sharing them in the small pieces as an exercise or just like thoughts. It's a different way, but people will hear you and you will stand out.
I had the exact same feelings about branding, and you are definitely opening my eyes to this. I come from a much more rough kind of
Yeah, yeah.
way of doing things, and I like sort of anti-advertising, anti-marketing, and this, and I put branding in that basket, in
Yeah.
that bucket. That was like, I'm
Yeah, yeah.
against these things. These things are manipulative, and I don't want to be manipulative. But that's not what it is
Yeah,
when you do it your way, and you do it the way that embracing variety teaches, and the way that your workshops also, where you help people to understand this and get past these barriers of like you are ready, you're more ready than you think you are.
Yes.
Be brave, go out there and do the thing, take it to the world and listen to people, and people want to listen to you, and get over your preconceptions of what branding
Yes.
is. Right. So
Yes.
your workshops, you just did one at Funding the Commons here, and this is called BrandLab, right?
Yeah, it's BrandLab.
BrandLab. So what can you tell us about BrandLab and how does it connect to embracing variety?
So BrandLab was born at DWeb camp because Wendy Hanamura asked me if I want to share anything about branding with founders, and I'm like, do they want to listen actually? Like, is it the right space? Um, and it went well. And then I realized also how much people would like to try to experiment and do it yourself. So doing it yourself has a lot of power. And sometimes a lot of professionals will advocate against this. Uh, well, but it gives you a lot of confidence. Next, you would like to redo it. It's like if you built your house, you will build something for the first time, or like if you would like to, I don't know, like sew something for yourself, and then you would like to redo it at some point. But the process gives you so much joy and understanding of what goes under, like the foundation. So that's how BrandLab was born. But the second part, which is called reverse engineering your product reputation, was actually created like a hack to walk around of being rejected for the next Web3 conference to try to bring the branding on stage. And I knew that if I will submit BrandLab, it will be rejected again. So during the Dev Connect in Istanbul for the Wallet Uncon, I submitted my talk calling it reverse engineering your wallet reputation, because branding is reputation. And I was guiding. It was a talk actually, and I guided the attendees through the process. And at the end, I said like, and this is branding. So that gave a second part of the name to the workshop, but also it shifted a lot in the narration and how I structure everything. So now everything is around like reputation building. And that's what I'm currently do from time to time. And I did these workshops at DevCons in 6 and 7 and Dev Connects and all the DWeb camps, IPFS camps, Funding the Commons. And every time I'm iterating, so I see what doesn't resonate with builders. Yesterday there were two marketers attended my workshop, and I said like, it's not that marketing that you expect to hear. It's very tailored to how builders would be comfortable to experience this process. So that's pretty much of it.
Right. So, on the discomfort of builders when approaching this kind of material, and then also you've mentioned the that founders, a lot of founders in this space and these decentralized technology spaces have sort of an allergic reaction to branding, and that's why like you kind of trick them into it
Yeah.
with your talks and your presentations and workshops. What are some of the challenges, the biggest challenges that builders and founders that you've worked with experience in their branding journey?
The curse of knowledge. The curse of knowledge is that they know too much about technology, and they think everything should be brought to people right away, exactly in the words that they communicate about this. So this like communication shift takes some time and effort. How to how to frame what you're doing in the words that will make people stop and understand. And also, sometimes they say like, "Oh, are we going to fake it until we make it?" Because this phrase "fake it until you make it" doesn't have a really good taste. To which I usually reply, "No, it's like you're acting like tomorrow's you today. That's how you build your reputation." And it's also like brings sometimes surfaces the feelings of like imposter, that I'm not ready to go to market, but I'm actually looking like I'm ready to go to market. um, which I tried like let it go. You are ready, but you're not doing exactly what you think you're going to do, like this aggressive marketing, and users come like hundreds of users right away, and they crash your tool, and then you cannot support it. One thing I always like look is that before we brand, before we promise, because brand is also a promise. What do you promise? Before we promise, are you sure you're delivering on your promise? Because if you and this is like where do you start thinking about branding? You start thinking about branding in in two moments: when you know that you will deliver your tech, and when you know that you would like people to use it, that you're already out of the laboratory mode, like this experimentation mode. Because if you don't deliver, if you promise something, if you bring the users and they're wait listing, and then you say, oh, sorry, we don't do this, we don't ship, you will make such a harm on your product that after recovery will take you so much time. And sometimes people even just like start the new product, give it a new name to recover from unfulfilled promises. So
Yeah, reputation, like you said, reputation is a really big
it's
deal.
like it takes a long time to build, and it takes a really short one moment to actually break everything.
Yeah, yeah, very well said. And so you've mentioned DWeb a few times, the decentralized web, this community, this network. It's very
Yeah.
dear to your heart,
Very dear to my heart.
and it's been a huge part of embracing variety and
Yes.
where your brand lab came from. So how on the like on a level of the core of what DWeb is, we have these principles, and how does that relate to what you're doing with embracing variety?
So first, in Embrace Variety, I will never ever advise you to use anything from the centralized evil tech. Like, it will be never that I will advise you to use something like ConvertKit for your newsletter. It's like only always like open source and something like decentralized, because I think we need to help each other to also to promote each other what we do, and walk our talk. I use Brave for my calls and at work, and when I people hop on the Brave talk, and they are like, "Oh, I never used this tool," and then like they're building decentralized web, but they're using Zoom, for example.
Right.
And I attended a couple of marketer events, also like just like round tables, and marketers are talking. And my main point there was why are using Web2 marketing engines to bring awareness and visibility to Web3 projects. We can take practices, we can take patterns, we can take research results, but we try to use the Web3 alternatives, something on open source alternatives. But people go for the convenience. So I will never prioritize convenience over values and ethos, like who you are as a builder. And everything around is about do it yourself. I'm not saying that you will get where you want to be by just doing yourself, but it will really bring you confidence and a taste or feel of how to build. And definitely it's all about knowledge, so I don't want to wall it. In design world, so much information is walled and kept in this my private design cave. So it's not how DWeb world works, and everything should be open. So that would be like three things. Like we will never use evil big tech. It's all about doing it yourself. It's about supporting open source, and oh yeah, it's never be like fake it until they make it. And also, I'm really close to the ecological awareness. So when we produce the websites, when we do something, like try to make it as light as possible, as recyclable as possible. yeah, like huge opponent of all these like crazy animations on the websites. It's like they're looking good. They like do like this wow effect, but they're very heavy for the environment. And you can say it's just one drop, but if everyone is dropping, like the web is really getting polluted then.
Yeah, yeah. So, like, really big on supporting projects that you believe in, not supporting the ones that you don't believe in or that have these ideological and
Yeah.
values at odds with each other.
Yes. Yes.
Do it yourself. It does not mean do it alone.
Absolutely
Like,
not.
support each other.
And like every time, everything like I'm writing, I'm asking to do it with a team because it will open your eyes on so many things that you don't see. Like if your company is like a diamond, you can see a few facets, and your team will see other facets, and then you can see like this, like have this 360 view of how your brand should look and feel.
That's great. Embracing variety is fascinating to me. What you're doing is really fascinating. You're trying to do something that people might be familiar with, but you're definitely doing it in a different way.
Yes.
And I really appreciate that. I think that that's great. So if other people are interested in getting involved in embracing in variety, how do they start learning from you and with you?
So first you can go to embracevariety.com, and it's an open publication. You just like see, I just started it. So it's just like a few posts. I think today there was 11 went out. So there's like only 11 articles, and they're very small. The better, the more convenient way is that you subscribe, and then it will go to your mailbox. But you don't need to. I mean,
I've already subscribed.
thank you, but yeah, thank you. People receive so many newsletters. That's why I call it. It's not a newsletter because you will never ever receive any news from me. It's not a personal blog. I will never ever write about like my personal things. It's like an online logbook, but it's also not like what currently I'm working. It's like a lot of okay, so it's like lessons from all the projects that I have been working in the past. And I have 16 years of branding, like 15 plus, so like really like around 16 years of branding. And I'm doing it non-stop. It's like it's in my heart. That's what I love. And also like there's if you would like to learn about aesthetics, like a lot of part of the Embrace Variety is about aesthetics because it's such a powerful tool. Um, Actually, research showed that aesthetics evoke as strong emotions as fear, but in absolutely opposite direction. So there is a lot of like how I write like how to use aesthetics to make people feel the right things about your brand. So just get subscribe to Embrace Variety. If you don't, just read it. I'm going to do more BrandLab workshops, and because we live in the quite decentralized world, I'll try to bring it as online workshop. So yeah, everybody who subscribed will get notified about like where is the next BrandLab is happening, because originally BrandLab is like half-day workshop, and it's a very intense one. Um, and surprisingly, founders are enjoying it and don't get like exhausted. And I'm just like so exhausted by the end of this 4 hours. And it's also like so much joy when they're leaving and like, all right. So something like this.
Cool. So what's the website for Embrace Variety?
Embracevariety, no spaces.com.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Super easy. And Brand Labs, these happen at events, and do you do them in other contexts?
Yeah, at events.
At
I'm
events.
currently doing at events in residencies if there is an opportunity. I will do an alternative to BrandLab at Protocol Berg. But this will not be a brand lab. It will be same exercises, but they are mixed and aligned in a different flow. It's called from strangers to early adopters, and that's exactly how to make like strangers turn into early adopters for those who build tech for non-techies. Again, we are going to overcome the curse of knowledge and how to communicate your tech in a way that is not technical person can understand.
Cool. I look forward to that. And Protocol Berg starts tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, and so this is awesome. I want to talk to you more about Berlin Blockchain Week. I have just a couple of questions
Hey.
that off the cuff here.
Okay, go.
Yeah. So what? We're just at the beginning of Berlin Blockchain Week.
Yes.
What are you most excited about in this 2-week course of events that's happening?
So I'm staying here for 1 week, and why I'm doing this is because these are my people, and Protocol Berg, they are my people. I missed local first conference. They are my people. The next part of the blockchain week is more blockchainy, more crypto, and I'm more like a P2P, and decentralized web like DWeb is more like a slower community, more milder community. So it's not that crypto hype. So I don't feel myself comfortable among crypto hype. That's why I don't attend those events. But I actually would love to go to DubCon. That's where a lot of beautiful apps are also born. I gave one talk there, and someone later approached and said that it was the best talk of all the DubCon they attended. And that was how to build landing page for SDKs. And we're just like, tuck, 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 tuck. Like, how do you do this? How do you write copy? How do you structure the flow? How do you interview users? And people found it valuable for that context.
Very cool. So, like the excellent events, there's a big focus on privacy during this Berlin Blockchain Week, and you mentioned that at the beginning of this
Yes.
conversation. That's what brought you to
Yes, yes,
this decentralized
yes,
world
yes.
and everything. So that's fantastic. I hope that you get what you're looking for out of this Blockchain Week. And what do you think about, like, I don't know, doing a DWeb event at a future Blockchain Week? Is that a fit or?
Absolutely yes.
Okay.
Absolutely yes. And I hope we will do something from DWeb at DevCon in Argentina.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. And then in a year we again all here, so we should definitely do something.
Yeah, definitely. And I believe there's something about a DWeb camp. There's one coming up in Berlin, in Brazil at the end of this year. And then there's another San Francisco one somewhere in the future.
Not in San Francisco. It's in Canada.
Oh, okay.
The DWeb Cascadia.
Right, the Cascadia one is this year as well.
Yes, in a
Cool.
beautiful Canadian forest. Yes.
Do we have dates on that?
Yes. I don't remember exactly, but I think it's beginning of August, from 7 to 13, or from 13 to 17, something like this. It's 3 days, but everyone is coming to the city for longer because everyone knows everyone, and it's just like so nice to see you again time.
Yeah. DWeb has a real family vibe.
Family
and
vibes,
Every
family
event,
vibes.
it feels like that. You meet someone who you know is a part of DWeb, and whether you've
Yes.
met before or not, it's like hugs and like
Hugs.
comfort, trust.
Yes.
It's really great. And
Yes.
so we've got DWeb Cascadia coming up, really far from Berlin. Not impossibly far, but difficult. If you're out in the Cascadia region, if you're in Vancouver or Seattle, definitely I would recommend checking that out.
Absolutely.
To folks at home. And then also DWeb Brazil camp. I went to the one in 2023. It's in a different location this time. I would absolutely
That
recommend
looked
that anyone
terrific,
goes. It
right?
was so amazing. Camping in the jungle, on the beach, with a bunch of hacker types and developers, and we were hacking on mesh networks,
There was
talking about
serious
open
tech
source
there.
software. There was. The technology was really incredible. And that team down there really takes all of it seriously, from
Yeah.
the community organizing part through to the
Yeah.
technology. And this is really like the community organizing, the community building is really at the heart of the decentralized web
Yes.
movement.
Yes. So if we do something, we definitely will do it somewhere off grid. It's not in the city location. We need to go out, and it's like exactly where you build for local first.
Yeah, local first, supporting local communities,
Yes.
supporting communities that don't have access to the resources, and also risk exploitation from the big Silicon Valley companies and big tech. Great. So if people want to learn more about you or contact you and get involved in maybe have a workshop or something, how do they reach you?
Join DWeb Discord, join DWeb network. I probably will add some links to the description.
Yeah, we'll add
Yes,
links, DWeb
yes.
Discord, and also Embrace Variety.
Embrace Variety. From Embrace Variety, you will find my personal website. I have a very difficult second name, Nezhinska, but we will also add it to details, and that's how you can always contact me, ask you questions. I always encourage people to just write me questions for Embrace Variety, so I can answer it as one of the emails sent or like issues published.
Cool.
Because I don't want to do like the one-to-many conversation. It should be like rather a dialogue. So please ask questions, and we will answer them so everyone else will hear and can join the conversation too.
You have such a unique and personal approach to what you're doing. This idea of like people ask you questions and then you answer it in the thing that you're actually making. That I hesitate to call it a product. Like it seems like a very personal thing for you and personal for the people that also are working with you.
It's also very personal how I launched it. So I was launching, there is like some community, and there are like marketers, there is developers, and when I was building the newsletter, there were so many advices for the aggressive audience building. You know, like you just like grab an email, you phrase it in the wrong way, the invitation, so people give you an email and you put them in their mail list, and it doesn't feel like it's absolutely against all DWeb principles. So I just like messaged there on that group that like I cannot do this because like I'm working with developers and we are all P2P and all decentralization and super privacy preserving. Like everything that you write here is just like it does not work for me. So I like personally reach out to many people, to you too. And it was a very soft and quiet launch with just a few people. Like I felt like we are having like a housewarming party here. Yes, so like, and it's also like everything like I do this. It's like it's not aggressive. I don't feel like a super agile person. I mean, I'm agile, but not that way. So I also try to make a process very comfortable and welcoming to people, because we need to change the reputation of branding as a process, as a craft, and only in this way.
Cool. Thank you so much for
Thank
for
you, Ryan,
talking
for
with me.
having me. It was such a pleasure to talk with you about
Cool.
this.
We'll be seeing you again, sure. I'm sure. Great.
Thank you.